Once every 4 years here in Cleveland, Ohio, the Department of Public Works opens up the old subway line under the Veterans Memorial Bridge for tours. This is a little overview of my tour to that facility. They had you sign a quick release about liability because of the structures inside, but other than that, people went in rather quickly. Outside there was a trolley that they're restoring called Lady Rosie. Inside there were lots of pictures to see and two places where you could see some movies like these. The long corridors where people used to walk getting their subways. The rail lines are on the other side of the wall where the tour is walking. Here is where the passengers got on and off the trains. I was told that this was salt that's accumulating through the cracks of the streets. They stay here for forever, just getting bigger and bigger. Here are some of those old rail lines that are still in the ground, along with some of the people touring the rail lines under the bridge. Everyone was walking down to the trolley substation where in 1953 the last trolley had run. Along the way there were entrances to get into the stores above with stairways to take you up to the top street. This is one of those stairs which is now blocked off, which will take you to the upper level. Back at the substation there's another video playing and people watching very interesting videos of these trolleys that ran along Cleveland streets so long ago. Many of them were interesting trolleys. As the movies would say, some of them made for a specific purpose. Like this trolley coming out here to do maintenance and sort of special touring.
Built by the Briggs Carriage Company in 1897, it is a deluxe parlor that was used to entertain guests.
Many people wondered what these long black tubes were, probably electrical lines that ran along underneath the street. I don't think they really carried any liquids. This next picture is of the passengers that rode in 1953 on the last trolley that ran at 1 a.m. in the morning. They had them pretty much all named in a picture. In this corridor next, where the American flag is flowing, are some rail lines, and you can see to the left there's very little area for the passengers to have walked to those stairs and exits out of the corridor. Looking up on top, I could see some markings where they perhaps wanted to do some repairing. I don't know if that's current for today or been there for a long, long time. Some of the walls are made up of these iron steel bars which are starting to show. They were plastered over and concreted over and then painted, and I'm sure it looked kind of nice down there. On this day they had the Cleveland Festival Hop, where trolleys were taking people from one area to another, and a lot of them stopped off here to see the subway underneath the bridge, which, like I said, was open only once every 4 years. These metal girders were all along the corridor. I don't think they were for lights. Maybe they kind of held something together up there. From one of the pictures on the wall, you could see what it must have been like to walk along that pillars and then up the stairs, so close to the trolleys going by. Also, there's a lot of the sheet metal that was left over. They found a good use for them. They made benches out of them and put them along the trolley line to give people a chance to sit down. So some of those electrical lines, I think, they ran across the bridge along with the steel that they used to protect them from the snow. As you know, we get a lot of snow here in Cleveland. From the only vestige area overlooking the river, we could see finally some of the skyline for Cleveland. And here you can see the famous chimneys that stick up from the electric company, old electric company power plant. This blue apartment complex you can see from the Superior Viaduct has some lights on top you could see from Route 2. And all of these bridges in Cleveland are working except for that one going over Cuyahoga River, where we're going to see just down this river here. Here's one of the drawbridges that we're going to see later if you stay to the end of the video. This very bridge that moves across to allow the ships to go through. There's actually a man that stays in that bridge all day long waiting for boats to come through. And they have to because a lot of container ships actually come down this river to load up. It goes some 6 miles into the industry part of the city, dropping off raw materials and so forth. Like I say, at the end of the video, we got a nice vantage point to see this bridge working. Through the bars of the Detroit Superior Bridge, we can see Center Street, which has the turnstile bridge. Center Street goes right into the flats underneath Superior Viaduct, which we're going to see in the next video clip. And you'll see apartment complexes have built up around this old bridge. And as we can walk across it, there's an Italian restaurant up there, and that's about it. But you can walk across and see various parts of the flats from that vantage point. Just behind those trees is the Italian restaurant where you can go and have some food. And then you can walk along the viaduct and see the flats. Right there is where cargo ships come down, or that drawbridge will go up and down, let cars pass. It's still working. That building just there behind the chimneys is the new Aloft Hotel. Very nice to go and see. It's this bridge to the right here that I think is the one that doesn't work anymore. I think it stays up all the time. But that other one to the left, that's still working, along with the one behind it there that goes straight up and down. This is Heritage Park Overlook, right around the old bridge there. And behind that is a bandstand where there's some entertainment in that tent area. I'm not sure what this building is, but I don't think it's being used. I noticed this round disc behind it, and I think it has something to do with a bridge or a support for a beam across the river. At the lookout vantage point, you can see the fencing they put up, keep you kids from slipping through, and the grading that you kind of have to walk on. Here they made some ramps for strollers to go over the various breaks in the bridge. I guess you could lose your car keys if you're not careful. The sound of that horn means the bridge is gonna open up again, but again, we'll see that at the end of the movie. Cleveland is lighting up a lot of their bridges at night, and this Veterans Bridge, if you see it at night with blue lights, this is where it's coming from. Well, that's the end of our tour. And now we're going to see Rosie, the trolley that they have been working on with a foundation there. And after you grab your ice cream, we head over to the trolley to go in. You're going to see they have a female driver, but according to the historian, it's not true, as women could not be conductors. So it looks sort of like a normal bus, but they have a big exit going out. The double doors. This is the trolley station out by Sandusky, and I was told that those two lines are electrified such that if you touched both lines you would get electrocuted. Very strange. Well, here's the turnstile bridge I promised you from the vantage point of Superior Viaduct. So you can hear the horns blowing, clear the way, and the bridge turns onto Heritage Park. Except for this boat decided to sneak through. Apparently it's actually low enough to get under. And before the bridge is totally aside, the boats are already starting to transverse across.
Hey Jim, it's got your name on it. Right?
If I buy a boat, I want a boat that bingo?
And now with everything back the way it should be, gates are open and people and traffic can begin to cross, and quite surprisingly there are a lot of cars and people going across. From the other end of the bridge it goes up to close to Public Square, so that's kind of a shortcut to get to Public Square from the flats. Well, I hope you liked the footage and the video. In 4 years you too can take this tour of the old subway line under Veterans Bridge.